My name is John Williams and I'm one of the architectural designers working with Oakrights as part of their design team. And I grew up in Herefordshire. I've ended up coming back to Herefordshire having been away to study architecture at Cambridge University. And I loved it in Cambridge, but I wanted to come back to the hills of Herefordshire. And I was lucky when I started looking that I was able to find a piece of oak woodland and was able to get planning permission to build an oak frame building in it. So I've been able to get my hands on this type of project from the design right through to the build process. I obviously spend a lot of my time sitting at a desk designing, but I also am lucky enough to be able to spend my time designing in this space. So I'm constantly reminded, whether it's the building or the woodland setting, about the materials that I'm thinking about on the drawing. And that really is part of my life. When you're designing a building of any sort, you have to achieve the design that you're happy with, but you have to get it through past the planning and you have to put it together constructionally. And there's time that's involved in all of those stages. Obviously my involvement as an architectural designer for Oakrights is thinking about that first step and making sure that we give that first process enough time to really make sure that we think through all the ideas that you've got and that we can bring to the design to make sure that we maximise the potential for you for a building that's going to be there for a very long time. The building that I was fortunate enough to be able to get permission to build happens to be in a woodland setting in the countryside, and it has that vernacular barn style appearance, but we design all sorts of styles of buildings. Traditional Tudor style oak frame building, or it might be an ultra contemporary style building that has a very different external appearance. And that is a choice that's made, and it's a negotiation with the planners as to what they'll allow. But the common factor in all the designs obviously is the oak frame. Everyone comes to oak really understanding that it's got a character to it that they remember from the old buildings that they've spent time in. The oak in those buildings has moved and changed and shrunk over time, and the buildings that we design are built in exactly the same way and will continue to do that as well. And it's that character and that quality of the material, of the timber, that is what draws people in.